Yeah. Today we watch it. Man, I've been slacking on the basketball vids, like the NBA reactions. But when JxmyHighroller drop, we gotta watch. Simple as that. That's a must watch right here, man. Like he actually be making me think about players in different lights. I ain't gonna lie, him and I gotta actually shout him out, man, cause he make W vids too. So I actually subscribe to him. What's his name? Hoop Venue. His deep dives keep me posted on the upcoming players and stuff like that. Like it actually make me see the X's and O's about the basketball games. But with that being said though, today we reacted to He is the Future of Basketball. I haven't watched this, but I'm 100% sure this is about Victor Wembanyama and how he's changing the NBA and what he's gonna be in the future. Like his trajectory. He gonna be like, hey man, Victor. It's crazy how Victor Wembanyama's here at only 21 years old type stuff. And he's gonna compare it to the past future of the NBAs, basically. But with that being said though, if you're new, subscribe and roll to 1,000 subs. We trying to get 1,000 for the end of the month. That's the goal, man. I love y'all. Y'all my life, man. Ain't nothing too big into it. Let work.
What you're about to witness was one of the rarest occurrences to happen on an NBA court.
2 seconds. The clock reset. Shaquille O'Neal.
I think that was like, how many threes have he? Oh, this probably gonna be about how Victor Wembanyama changing the center position the whole time.
19 points in the quarter for O'Neal.
I think that was how many threes have Shaq made in his career? Like
a buzzer-beating 30-footer from Shaquille O'Neal. An otherwise awesome shot, but in this particular case, it was an absolute abnormality. Because throughout Shaq's 19-year career, he made 11,330 shots. The one you just watched was the one and only three-pointer. But this was back in 1996, when big men lived in the paint, three-pointers being virtually off limits for them. Out of the 41 active 7-footers in the league that season, only 12 of them hit at least a single three-pointer. Only 7 of them hit multiple three-pointers, and Arvydas Sabonis was breaking the mold, hitting a whopping 39 threes throughout the entire season. More than every other 7-footer combined. But the league has changed a lot since 1996. Sabonis' historic shooting season getting buried over the course of 3 decades of basketball evolution, with players like Dirk Nowitzki, Brook Lopez, and Karl Anthony Towns redefining what it means to be a shooting big.
But look, I ain't gonna lie, the most important thing, no glaze, is if people can say your name while I shoot. Kobe, Curry, you feel me? I just dirked them. Is people gonna ever say I just wet bananaed you? I don't know. I don't know if people gonna. And I think didn't Flight come up with wet banana? So ain't nobody ever gonna say I just Wembanyama'd you. That's too long. I just dirked you is a smooth saying. And then that mean you fading on the with a leg up type stuff. So. That puts you in a different category.
Transforming from essentially a cool gimmick for big men to almost a necessity in today's league. But it was Lauri Markkanen back in 2023 who set a new benchmark for just how lethal a big man can be from outside, sinking 200 three-pointers.
Bro, I don't want to see this, bro. This man Wembanyama put up 12 threes a night. I promise he put up like 12 threes a night. We not finna cap like he don't. But he's 7'5". He can shoot at. Hey man, they can't guard.
By far the most of any 7-footer in NBA history. At least it will be until the end of this season, because Victor Wembanyama is on pace to do this: 243 pointers in a single season, a mark that completely laps even the greatest big men shooters of all time. But Victor isn't just a 7-footer. He's one of the tallest players in the history of the league. If we limit the players on this graph to those at least as tall as Wemby, well, yeah. Victor Wembanyama is an aberration, a basketball singularity, because he's doing this while also being the best defensive player on the planet.
You gotta give him that though.
It's still not enough.
See, I feel like it's kind of weird saying he the best defensive. He the best flow rates on defense. Cause as a center, that's for sure. Like if you guard the paint well enough, they gotta take outside shots, and Wembanyama does that. But we gotta talk about how Amin is holding people to like 8 or 9% lower than they average on field goal percentage. Dyson Daniels is clamping. Like I ain't gonna lie, it's people like Amin Thompson is a pure clamper. He caught your favorite player and clamp him. Let's be honest right here, man. Come on.
Fans criticizing the big man, saying that his game is too soft and that his skill set doesn't match his size. Playing 25 feet away from the basket, almost in defiance of his size and physical advantage. Why is he all the way out there? The jaw-dropping displays of skills far too refined for a player his size are cool and all, but why don't you try posting somebody up for a change? Wemby is already a generational talent, the potential to be one of the greatest of all time. But what's all that potential if you refuse to use it? Is Wemby's game falling victim to a league that has become infatuated with guard skills and the long ball? Or is he on the brink of completely altering the entire landscape of basketball and how the game is played?
How? We gonna get people to grow taller? Wait, how? How that's gonna happen? How is that gonna happen, Jimmy? We gonna get people to grow taller?
The entire landscape of basketball and how the game is played. Today's video is sponsored by Factor 7. You don't have to match with plant-based out all meal plan. A defensive percent at Factor spot.
Now Jokic switches back on him. Cross it over Jokic. What a bucket!
What in the NBA evolution did I just witness? There was a point in time, not very long ago, where if you told NBA fans there would be a 7'4" giant doing bag work and hitting crossover threes from 25 feet out, no one would believe you. And yet, here we are. Victor Wembanyama is really good, and everyone knows it. But no one, even generational talents like Wemby, are supposed to be this good this early. Because even compared to the greatest players of our lifetime, Wemby is on an early trajectory that we have never seen. Through 100 career games, more points than the all-time scoring leader, more blocks than the all-time blocks leader.
Through 100 career games. And he ain't how many minutes he averaged? Last year he was on a minutes restriction at that. Now that's tough.
And more threes than the all-time threes leader. It's like the basketball gods wanted to play a sick game by creating an unfair player who can just do everything.
Okay. Wasn't Jason... Okay, Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, most of these players up here... Okay, oh no. Like, I was gonna say, like, did they really have the ability to do whatever they wanted, like Wemby do? Like, it's Wembanyama. I think LeBron did for sure. I'm pretty sure Carmelo did. Jason Tatum was on a young, upcoming team, though. Bird was, too. Joel Embiid was on the process, so he was able to do whatever he want. KD, I'm pretty sure he was able to do whatever he want. I don't know. That's,
at the same time.
Sell.
And once you compare Wemby's impact to other players in just their second season, the gap he has on everyone is almost unbelievable. Here are some of the greatest players of the last 2 decades and the progression through their first 2 seasons according to estimated plus-minus. Now, a -1 is about league average, so even players who got off to a relatively slow start, like Giannis, Shea, and Westbrook, were still on a positive trajectory early in their careers. Now, an EPM of 3.5 is about an All-NBA caliber season, so players like LeBron, AD, Luka, and Jokic were already stars in just their second season in the league. And then there's Wemby, who isn't just a superstar, but an MVP candidate in just his second season. These are the best players across multiple generations of NBA basketball, and Victor Wembanyama is outpacing all of them by a long shot, already producing at a level that even the best players don't reach until their 4th or 5th season. Right now, Victor isn't competing to be the best young player in the league. He's quickly approaching the best players in the world. According to most advanced metrics, so far this season, Victor has been statistically a top 5 player in the NBA. Estimated plus minus, for example, has Wemby as the 3rd most impactful player in the league this season, only behind Jokic and SGA. Now, Luka and Giannis are 2 of the top players of their entire generation in their prime, and Wemby is already impacting games at their level in just his second.
Hey, we gotta. The Giannis one, that's tough. But Luka, it's most definitely because of the defense, gang. We already knew it was because of defense. But Giannis, that's tough. I thought Giannis would have been above Luka and Wemby. But the Bucks did come off to a slow start.
Season. We knew Wemby was going to be good if he could stay healthy and on the court. We knew he could be a defensive superstar just off of his physical tools alone. But no one on God's green earth,
bro, Pod, what is you doing?
Just off of his physical tools alone.
What was this?
But no.
Huh? Retire, gang. It's
on
not
God's
you,
green earth,
basketball ain't
knew
you, gang.
This was a possibility. Because, quite frankly, it probably shouldn't be. Here is every single player in the NBA who has attempted at least 200 shots this season, mapped out according to their average shot distance on the x-axis and their height on the y-axis. And as you would expect, there's a clear correlation between how big players are and how close to the hoop they tend to operate. Big guys usually play near the rim, like Gobert and Gafford, who live right underneath it. The further out you go, the less height grants an advantage, and so typically you'll find the smaller players outside, like Steph Curry and Peyton Pritchard. Of course, there are outliers. TJ McConnell is just 6'1", and yet his average shot distance resembles that of a power forward. Lauri Markkanen and Brook Lopez are 7-footers, but you wouldn't know it based off the fact that the average of all of their shots is near the 3-point line. Where is Wemby in all of this? Well, he's right here, about a mile away from where you would expect the tallest player in the NBA to be, with shots that mirror a shooting guard. So far this season, Wemby's average shot is further out than some of the most prolific perimeter players like Harden and Luka. Anthony Edwards has attempted the most threes in the NBA this season, and even he is shooting closer to the basket than Wemby is. Karl Anthony Towns is in conversations as the best long-range shooting big ever, and Wemby is far closer to Steph than he is to Kat. It is mind-boggling. And yet, as incredible as this is, there's an equal amount of concern for the future of Wemby's career and the consequences of this playstyle. Victor is a part of a generation of players who are inheriting a league that has been taken over by outside play and homogeneous guard-like skill sets. We're watching this kid shatter records and bend the game in ways that we never thought were possible, and yet for some fans, his game isn't what it should be. Victor isn't just the tallest player in the league. He's one of the tallest human beings on Earth. As cool as it is to see him.
Look, I ain't gonna lie, I don't like saying, will he be able to guard an old school player? But I ain't gonna lie. Olajuwon cooking him. Olajuwon cooking Wembanyama, fool. I ain't gonna lie. And he might clamp him on the other ear. I'm sorry to tell y'all, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Olajuwon the greatest defender of all time, and he got the greatest footwork of all time. He's cooking Wembanyama, folks. Simple as that.
Step back
I'm
threes
sorry,
and do
y'all.
his best impression of a combo guard. It feels almost criminal.
I know y'all see what Joel Embiid did to him last year. Just imagine that times 2. Joel Embiid is a baby Olajuwon. That's exactly what it is. Olajuwon is more agile than Embiid too. So it's over with.
Taking advantage of all of that size near the rim. A 7'4"
giant
with an 8-foot
Olajuwon,
wingspan and the
sleep on him.
potential
I'm
to
sorry
be
to tell y'all.
unstoppable near the rim, shooting just 20% of his shots within 3 feet and 50% of his shots from beyond the arc. As one fan put it, Wemby took the KD route instead of the Hakeem route. The league should be elated. Now, getting compared to Kevin Durant isn't quite the worst thing in the world, but considering who we're dealing with, it doesn't feel right for Wemby to be relegated to a hyper-lengthy, long-range bucket getter. In a league that continues to move further away from the basket, if there's one player we had hopes wouldn't lean into this new age of basketball, it was Wemby. But this assessment is all wrong. Wemby hasn't taken the KD route, and he hasn't taken the Hakeem route either. He's doing both at the same time. Victor is already regarded by many as the best defensive player in the league, a title that takes even the greatest defensive anchors years into their career to achieve. But that was the scouting report on Victor coming into the league. An era-defining defensive talent. The other stuff, competing, 3-level scoring, and the potential to develop his offensive skill set was all there, but only in flashes. The question being not if, but when he could elevate to a truly elite offensive talent. Of all the timelines people had in mind, I'm not sure if anyone considered the possibility that he would check off those boxes just a season.
Ralph Sampson, the best one. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, King Olajuwon, Kevin Durant.
And a half into his
this is the craziest
NBA career. For some perspective, here are some of the greatest scorers in NBA history on a scale of points per possession. And here are the best defensive players in league history on a scale of defensive box plus minus. Now, being ultra elite on both sides of the ball is about the rarest thing in all of basketball, which is why on the scoring side, those defensive superstars fall here, and on the defensive side, those offensive superstars fall here. It's like some sort of intangible law of the game that keeps it balanced. Ben Wallace and Draymond Green could go toe-to-toe with just about anyone on defense, but Lord help us if they need to get a bucket. On the other hand, Iverson and Steph can score at will, but don't ask them to go down the other end and get you a stop. But there have been a handful of truly great two-way players, like Duncan, Hakeem, Kawhi, David Robinson, Giannis, and Michael Jordan. Oh, and of course, the giant, freak of nature 21-year-old alien, who is already on his way to being the best two-way weapon the game has ever seen. But this is a 21-year-old Wemby. Compare him to these superstars in just their second season, and you're looking at a player who looks like a work of fiction. So remind me again what exactly the problem is with Wemby's game. Earlier this season, Victor was facing criticism for some of his performances. Why would you ever be standing 25 feet from the basket throwing up bricks when you have the physical tools to drop the ball in the hoop without even...
Yeah, I feel like that's the only thing that it is, bro. It's not the fact. It's the fact that it's not the fact that people don't want him to shoot threes. It's the fact, like, if you get next to the basket, who gonna block your shot? Why do you need to take a chance on if this three gonna go in if you could just instantly put the ball in the rim? That's the only thing that people be saying. Me, I think he should do anything he want to do. Right? You 7-4. Show us a new mode, folks. You feel me? But I see what they be saying.
As the season has progressed, so has Wemby's performances, and turns out watching a walking giant do this is actually really entertaining. But the initial criticism Wemby received from fans is a testament to just how far-fetched and rebellious his game is, and how fans of the NBA are reluctant to change until the change works. When Dirk Nowitzki first entered the league, and even during his rise to superstardom, he was often criticized for being soft, and that in a time of true dominant big men, he wasn't one of them. Part of this was the stigma around European players at the time, but a large factor was his play style. The concept of a 7-footer handling the ball, facing up, and living off of 15-foot fadeaways was just too odd for some fans to accept.
I hate no more boy Dirk. I dirked him. I dirked him. You know what I mean?
Now looking back, Dirk Nowitzki was nothing short of an incredible innovator, ahead of his time. And the criticism, although some of it fair, was for the most part just a symptom of fans reluctant to accept something new and different. Kevin Durant is on record saying he deliberately understated his height early on in his career because he knew if his listed height started with a 7, he would be labeled as a post player regardless of his skill set. Sounds a bit crazy now, but with how people viewed the game 20 years ago, without this decision, we may have never got the chance to witness this player. Early in his career, Michael Jordan was told that ball-heavy guards do not win championships. The formula for winning was rooted in the big man, and history confirmed this theory. Around the same time, Magic and Isaiah Thomas were breaking the mold, winning titles and laying the framework for Michael to completely dismantle these previous outdated notions. And of course, no one believed three-pointers could be the key piece to winning a championship until the Warriors rewrote history books and forever changed basketball with the three-pointer. No one wants change until it works. The only problem is you will never know if it works or not until someone comes in and wipes away all doubt. Victor Wembanyama is in the process of doing just that. Recently, while on the Bill Simmons podcast, Kirk Goldsberry talked about how unpredictable the progression of basketball can be, and how the next phase of the NBA may be centered around the skilled big man.
The 2010s were about small ball. We're halfway through. the 2020s here, Bill. And we might call it skill ball, I think, because even the big dudes like Jokic and Embiid and Wemby, like name a center from 2004 or 1994. Could they do anything that Jokic do? Maybe Rasheed Wallace. There were some guys that were super skilled that could shoot the ball and pass and dribble.
Well,
but
it's basically Rasheed. Rasheed was the guy everyone pointed to and said, "Oh my God, this guy, he can shoot from outside. He can post up." And we held him up to this crazy level, and he was like 16 points a game.
This generation does everything. Everybody does everything. Dribble, pass, and shoot. And skill has never been this high. And Wemby is giving us a very clear next up. Everything is clicking. You know, he was very hyped, like LeBron coming in. But I think Victor Wembanyama is poised to be the next greatest player in the NBA at some point in the next 5 years.
Looking back at how basketball has changed over the years,
Okay. I gotta lock that ghetto basketball. No cap. I'm finna start watching the full games, bro. No lie. I gotta start watching full games because I gotta see the come up, bro.
makes sense that towering players with versatile skill sets would be the next step in the game's evolution. Almost a direct counter to the small ball era that preceded it. And Victor is well aware of this. As he put it, the best way for me to help is to not put me in a box. We know we are going to make something original, something special. Coaches and staff within the Spurs organization encouraging Victor's departure from positional norms, knowing that allowing him to play his game won't stunt his potential, it will help him reach it. It doesn't make sense that Wemby can drill 30-footers, or get into his bag, or tell his guards to come set screens for him. We like our bigs to play big. I mean, usually we like our bigs to play big. Wait, hold on, that was actually kind of sick. Okay, well, height is just a number, but you gotta take advantage of it. We've heard it all before. Declarations that all made sense until the next evolution of basketball was staring it in the face. Any attempt to define Wemby's game or compare him to another player, past or present, will leave you empty-handed. He and his skill set do not compute. They are illogical. He isn't just really good, he is really good in a whole new way. We are witnessing the future of basketball. And if you didn't like the idea of a guard anchoring your team.
Now, quick question. Will Wemby be better than my MJ and LeBron? Will he be better than MJ and LeBron? That's the question we all
If you
need
didn't like
answered,
the
bro.
idea of
That's the question
7-footers
we all
popping
need
out
answered,
and
though.
taking long jumpers, and if you didn't like the three-point revolution, then you sure aren't gonna like what this guy ends up doing.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that's a crazy question, bro. That's a crazy question. Will he be better than MJ and LeBron? We gotta go with no, bro. MJ got aura, folks. I ain't gonna lie. Just watch. Let's go back to no glaze, gang. No glaze, folks. No glaze, folks.
Same time, Magic and Isaiah Thomas were breaking the mold, winning titles and laying the framework for Michael to completely dismantle these previous outdated notions. And of course, no one believed three-pointers could be the key piece to winning a championship until the Warriors rewrote history books and
forget it. We get watch out, folks. We got it right here. Ah, that's wrong things. Goofy. This aura, folks. I ain't like this pure aura, gang. This aura, gang. No cat. See this photo is pure aura, folks. Don't lie. I don't lie. Hey. Until somebody makes something better than that, instead of just doing what Kobe and MJ did in their photos, I don't want to. Hey, man, you can't compete, folks. Sorry to tell you. But with that being said, though, if you new, subscribe and roll to 1,000 subs, man. Shout out Wemby, man. Shout out D Wade too, my GOAT. No cap. But yeah, love y'all, man. Y'all my life, man. See y'all next one.